what's good? It's your boy, Wallace Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit. Oh, slap, slap, watch the jiggle. Damn. Hit the subscribe button, hit notification bell every time I post some new content. Shout out to Lino Brown on this one. I've been subscribed to this guy a pretty good while. I really like how I like his commentary. I ain't gonna bullshit you. All right, But this one right here is pretty interesting. So apparently, this young woman, right, said that if the pastor smashed and the church stayed quiet. Well, listen, people, y'all already know how that crazy uncle felt about going to church. Acts 17:24 says it all. And then just know that I'm going to change out God for Yahweh. So, but for the most part, right, because Yahweh, God is the title. Yahweh is the name. Okay, so, but in another case, it says that Yahweh, who created the heavens and the earth, does not dwell in temples made by man's hands, nor is he worshipped by man's hands. Why the hell you think they put his son on the cross? And what did they nail? His hands. Okay? So, I have yet to watch. Well, let me stop. I watched this video already, but I'm not going to give you my response on how I feel about this shit. But if I'm right, she gonna give herself away. Is what most people do, regardless of age. So let's go.
This woman was groomed in the house of the Lord when she was just a goddamn teenager at a church out there in Mississippi. Let's get into it. Check this out.
So I'm going to tell my story on how I was groomed in this church that I was going to in Jackson, Mississippi, where the pastor ended up.
Okay. First and foremost, I never try to judge a book by its cover or judge a person by the cover because of how they sound. But there are exceptions to the rule, people. And I'm just gonna keep it at that. Let's go.
Me, last month, and it's to spread awareness. It's some things that were going on in the church, that I would have never picked up on, and I was manipulated, and it's to spread awareness basically to young, vulnerable women like me.
Well, okay, so I hate when you get caught in your dirt. Now all of a sudden you got manipulated. Did you get manipulated? Or did a man? Hold on, I'm trying to do this, right? So when you say manipulated, so you mean to tell me that the man, he licked your nipples and dilated your pussy to such a degree, or you were just actually really thinking that he was gonna lick on your nipples and dilate your pussy to such a degree, you were gonna do anything and everything this man told you, right? Let's go.
To help people not go through the same thing. So me and my best friend, were 19 at the time, and we came into this church. We were on fire for the Lord. We were both naive. We were very gullible. We were just coming out of some things. I was coming out of a relationship. And we came into this church. We found this church from her sister worked with somebody, and they recommended the church to her, and we ended up going to the church, and the people were so like loving towards us, and it was almost surreal. Like, no way, like this can't be real. And me and my best friend were like, this is the place. Like, this is the place we want to be.
They like them young, naive, low.
Listen, this is what motherfuckers do, right? You never was in church, sweetie. It's sorry about that. I had to get some props for y'all to actually really drive my point home. So, but now, baby, you never was in a church. This actually like this go back in what is it, 1 Corinthians 8:5, where it actually says, what? Don't ye know that your own body is the house of the Lord, or the house of the Holy Ghost? But you carried your ass in a church, so-called church, that was built by man's hands. Shame on you. Let's go.
So they could step right in and lead them straight to that mushroom tip. And the crazier part is, the church supposed to be the house of the Lord. The pastor supposed to be a trusted man of God, but the whole time he on demon time. Carry on.
So the pastor comes out, he gives the scriptures, he gives the word. It's like,
please, you see, there's another thing too, right? This is one thing that I really hate. As far as like so-called religion goes. One, you want to carry your ass to church. And I just gave you the verse on why you shouldn't. Then people want to holler about, he giving the scripture. He's telling the word. No, the fuck he ain't. John 1:1. Go read it. In the beginning was the word. And the word was Yahweh. And the word was Yahweh. Now, you go read that, it'll say God. But then again, go down to the 14th verse. What does it say? And the word was made flesh. We all know what this is, flesh. That's goddamn paper. Let's go.
It's just not like any other pastor I've ever heard. He knows the word front to back.
As well as Lucifer himself. Right? Matter of fact, Lucifer could quote it a hell of a lot better than any so-called preacher. Right? And he would explain it to you a hell of a lot better than any other preacher. Right? Because what happens is that they'll pick and choose shit. They say they'll do this verse, they do that verse, and then not knowing that it's a couple of verses in the Bible right now that I can call off right now that would probably will actually really destroy any type of church. I just gave y'all one. Matter of fact, I just gave y'all two. And just know this, before all this stuff is all said and done, I'm probably going to give y'all a hell of a lot more. But I feel that it'll be safe to say that this video is not going to go nowhere. Right? But let's just say for shits and giggles that it does. Then how the hell y'all going to look at the crazy uncle from here on out? Let's go.
And so we gotta stay here. Like, we want to be like these people. Like, whatever it takes to be like these people, this is what we want to be like. We want to be like these people. And so we're in the church, and not knowing, they were very strict on who could talk to us. Only one person could talk to us outside of church, like could get our number, and she ended up taking us out to eat. Mind you, we did not know this until some time after and we got like in the church that only this person could talk to us, because eventually they let everybody start talking to us once they knew we were in. Once we stayed faithful to the church, we started going every Sunday and Thursday, because
what's the name of the church? Who's the pastor? If this pastor truly checked your temperature by bending you over, right? Why not call out his name? Why not call out the church? Let's go.
Sermons would start to be about
but then again, you almost gotta look. You almost gotta ask yourself, right? Yeah. You was 19 at the time. Now, I think unless the laws of the state of Mississippi has changed, at the age of 16, you are no longer considered a minor. So, put like this: if he would have got you at 16, or he would have got you at 17, guess what? He wasn't finna go to jail for that. I saw some of the comments talking about, oh, he should be arrested. Why? She was of age, right? So let's go.
What you had to do, basically. And mind you, we looked at these people as super godly people. So we was like, we want to be like them. We want to go to heaven, all of this. So
okay, all right. Now, I'm finna show y'all something, right? Y'all ever heard, I put it like this. Well, I know that some of my old schools, right? Y'all know about this. Y'all know about the saying, what they used to say, right? They said, guess what? You didn't jump out of the skillet. Yes, this is an old school cast iron skillet. And then look what color it is. Right? So let's just say for shits and giggles that this skillet right here is where the hell y'all once was. Out in the world, dark, let them tell it, right? But then, so you jump out of this because you think that's fucked up. Then you come get in this motherfucker, right? This is the frying pan. And then I ain't got no grease in it, but the thing about it though is this. This is hot. So put it like this. Just know that the skillet and the frying pan, I didn't, but I'm just saying, if both of them, I got both of them on the skillet. They both hot. This one is dry. This one here slipperier than a motherfucker. And then during that whole time frame, right? You thought it was hot over here, but it was dry. You jumped your ass into something that's a hell of a lot worse. Because not only is this skillet hot or the frying pan is hot, but it's slippery with grease. It's okay. So I mean, but I get it. You young, you don't know no better. Right? But it's just certain things that you should already know not to do. And guess what? The church itself really ain't got to be involved. This little young fucker, she just wanted to get her back blown. I'm just going to come out and say it. Let's go.
And the pastor starts to preach about authority and loose women. So me and my best friend are fresh in, and we don't know like what that is. And he was basically like, you need a covering over your head. And I didn't have a covering. And my best friend had someone as her covering, but he was like, no, they have to be godly and they have to be this. And if basically, like, if the person wasn't in the church, they can be the covering, and the person basically had to be the pastor. So the pastor became our covering, because we was like, okay. And mind you, everybody in the church calls him dad. Everybody calls him daddy.
That good daddy smashing everybody in the goddamn church and sharing some of that goddamn collection plate money to hush their ass up. And y'all heard when she say he knew the word of God verbatim. He knew it so good, he could preach it so good. That goes back to scripture when the Bible warns you of these false prophets knowing the word of God, but they still the enemy. Carry on.
So now the women in the church, this pastor were very close to the women. Now,
I wonder why. Let's go.
Us being the young women, we have to be taught how to be submissive daughters. A lot of the scriptures, a lot of the sermons now are focused on submission. How do you submit to your authority? So we're learning, like, we can't do nothing no more. Like,
okay, but why would you want to do that? Why would you just want to like just totally and completely bow down either to your husband or to your so-called bullshit ass pastor? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? Everything should be questioned. Everything. Right? I don't know about y'all, but I don't like pushovers. I love the simple fact that my wife, she'll clap back at me. I ain't got time for nobody that I be like, what I say is law, you better do what the fuck I say or it's gonna be consequences. Right? And then see, I don't, and then motherfucker just okay, right? I mean, because if that's the case, then you gotta ask yourself, okay, well, if I just said that and she agreed, what the fuck else is she gonna agree to? Okay. Or it could, or just like what I said earlier, right? It's not for the simple facts that agree to it just because, oh, I want to do better. It could be just for the simple fact that, okay, I'm gonna agree to it because I know old pastor gonna blow my back out. Okay, so let's go.
Like, our lives are so different. So now we're having to ask, can we crank up our car and go to the store right up the street? Can we crank up our car to go get food? Can we buy something off the internet? Can we start a business? Can we get a job? Can we, like, everything? We cannot make no decision for ourselves. Like, we cannot do nothing at all.
Pastor Bill R. Kelly, goddamn Bishop Don Warren Cosby will run the whole Madam ring in the goddamn.
This is new for me, because I'm not used to like having somebody dictating everything I do. Like, if I'm hungry, I just go get me some food. So like, I would get talks a lot, and I would have to confess, like, I went and got food without asking, I'm sorry, and I would be crying, and I would feel like I'm going to hell because the sermons were so strict on submission.
Okay, so again, you know, for the most part, I think a lot of people will that, you know, you be like, okay, well, I want to do right. I want to do right. And so you go to church, considering if your mama didn't take you, which was the case with me. So I would always hear about, well, they didn't say submission, right? But people always talk about, well, if you do this, this is a sin. If you do that, that's a sin. If you do that, or you do the other, that's a sin too, right? But then they always say, well, unless you add, it's a sin until you ask the Lord for forgiveness. He'll forgive you, right? Well, for the most part, there's no, in my younger years, right? You know, when I didn't know, I always felt like, okay, well, something was always going on with the church, but let's just say that I'm a little older now. I know better, because what happens is that the preacher, he up there in his pulpit, meaning he's finna pull your ass in the pit with him. So it's just one of those deals that, okay, he read and you believe in it in that word for word, and you won't never go back and research it or question it because you really trying to you really think that this is what that pastor's up there doing? But I'm going to just go ahead and tell y'all right now. The whole 14th chapter of Romans basically says nothing is unclean of itself. If it's dirty to you, then it's dirty to you. Don't try to put that off on me. Right? And then the thing about it though is this. Right? Let's go back to the days of Moses. Everybody want to sit up here and holler about the 10 Commandments. But you need to, you got to understand something. They only highlight the 10 Commandments. Just know it was another 603, which puts the count up to 613, right? There was another 603 that 9 times out of 10, none of y'all don't know about. See, I try not to let this shit go too far, but when shit like this happens, when I know this is bullshit, she just want her motherfucking back blown, people. So you sit up here and you listen to testimony, and just know I'm not gonna say I know a lot. I'm not saying that I know every goddamn thing, but I know enough that 9 times out of 10, if the situation was reversed, right? If I was a goddamn pastor, shit, I could have blew a motherfucking back out. Because I ain't gonna do nothing to tell you nothing better. I'm gonna tell you a whole lot more than what the hell that pastor told you. But you know what I'm saying is, like what I said earlier, Lucifer himself, he know that Bible pretty damn well himself. So I would listen, people. Come on now, y'all. Let's not do this.
And basically, it was just so much, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So it was a lot. So then we started to lose our family, and me and my best friend were so depressed.
There it is, right there. Y'all see, put like this. I get it, and so now to finish up, but you mess around and you be asking God for forgiveness each and every day, which a lot of people be like, well, shit, ain't nothing wrong with that. Because I know I done fucked up. Okay, how you know you fucked up? What did you do? Then they all talk about God don't like ugly. Okay, how you know? What makes you think that he didn't put that ugly ass shit over there? Or over there? Or back there? Right? So, let's go. And then talking about losing family? How did it hurt? Let's go.
Then we were crying on the phone with them, and they were like, that's normal and all of this, because we started to lose our family. And they in the church was like, raise your hand if you lost your family. And everybody raised their hand, and we're like, okay, this is normal, this is supposed to happen. And so we're crying.
What? That's by design. It's a system intentionally in place to leave you alone.
He started to invite himself places with me, and he would be like, okay, just come get me, because I have to X everywhere I wanted to go. So I would be like, can I go get so and so something for her birthday? He was like, yeah, just come get me too, or whatever. And he would just start getting with me alone now. And I'm thinking of it as like daddy-daughter time. Like I never had time to spend with my dad. Like I always wanted like a dad, and they knew that in their church. And the crazy thing is,
so let me get this straight, right? I know, young lady, I know you try to tell the story, right? But at the same time, though, right? You really putting your business out there. So at this point of the junction, your mama ran your daddy off. And then 9 times out of 10, just looking at you, you nice looking, you probably got a nice little figure about yourself. Right? And then your mama trying to take care of you, right? Really not knowing how to take care of you. right? You know, so I already put it out there. Y'all already know where the fuck the crazy uncle going with this. Y'all had to pay attention to shit. Okay, let's go.
If you had anything going on womanly, you had to talk to this man. The women, you can't talk to the women in church. The women gonna point you to him. They gonna always point you to him. If you struggle,
so my thing is, okay, I get it. You were 19 at the time, right? But see, this is how now, unless this is gonna be a part 2 to this. Right now, is too many motherfucking holes open, right? So you just like you totally completely committed to this church. What did your mama say? How did she feel about it? Right? Let's go.
with something womanly, they're gonna point you to him. You're gonna have to talk to him about it. Like, that's just how it is in the church. It's crazy. And a lot of this stuff he started to do to me, like, he wanted to keep a secret, and he would make it like it's because my wife wouldn't understand, my best friend wouldn't understand.
Okay, then. So again, see, this is, hold on, because she looked weird right there.
And
so basically, so again, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. You giving away yourself, young woman, right? Which, for the most part, now this is just sheer speculation. But like I said, 9 times out of 10, your mama kicked your mama kicked your daddy out of the house. So you never saw that. You never saw that. You never saw that mom and daddy relationship. You never saw that. So you out there running them streets, right? It wouldn't surprise me now she got a kid, y'all. You know, but my whole deal is, so you out there. Your mama ran your daddy off. You out there in them streets. You fucking up. Matter of fact, and again, this is sheer speculation, but I'm almost about, she got a 2-year-old or 3-year-old somewhere. And it's probably by that pastor. Okay? I'm just speculating right now. Like, great fact, yes, I told y'all that I watched this already. But I wanted to get I wanted to make sure of what the fuck I'm, what I'm talking about here. All right? Because like I said, she ain't gave up the name of the church, she ain't gave up the name of the pastor. But then again, like it's just like what I said earlier, well, what good is that gonna do in the state of Mississippi? Because from 16 on up, right? It's not considered a minor. Now I could be wrong, maybe they changed their shit. I don't know. Let's go.
These people wouldn't understand. Nobody will understand this because he's doing the work of the Lord. So he will always put spiritual on it, and he will be like, you can't say this because my wife will start thinking stuff like this, and in her mind she won't understand it. But any other preacher,
of course she ain't gonna understand it. That's her husband. Just like I said, you don't, and so you went along with it. You went along with it. Now you finna tell it. Wow. Okay. All right. Fuck time as usual.
I'm gonna be hard, but me, I'm so disciplined and woo. And I'm like, okay. So I can't even talk to nobody about this, not even the women in the church, but they was gonna point me to him anyway.
Now that pastor must be watching some Surviving R. Kelly, because this sound too funny.
Would basically tell me how to be with him. She told me basically, I remember one day I was like, I was sleepy or I was something when Dad called, and she was like, you don't talk to him in this tone. If I'm asleep, I have to change my voice when I answer the phone for him, because you don't talk to him like this. She trained us how to act in front of him. So this is when something weird happened. So I had to try on this dress. Mind you, multiple weird things happen, but it's so much weird stuff. I'm gonna have to, I don't know how I'm gonna tell y'all. It's gonna have to be a part 2. So she bought these dresses for me to try on, and she was like, I knew she had to ask him before she gave them to me. But then she was like, I'm gonna let him see if these are appropriate for you to wear. Even though she done wore the dresses before. But I'm not thinking nothing of this. I'm so green at the time, y'all. So I go in the bathroom, And he comes, she right there, and I trust her. Mind you, I trust this girl. So this is how he checks me.
Because that's all what you had. That's all what you was used to. They're like saying your dad, he don't now he your dad, right? So-called dad. You got her, she representing your mama, right? But hey, let's go.
I have to go, turn around, bend over, touch my toe in front of, and I'm so uncomfortable, but it's like, okay, she right here. Maybe this normal, right?
No, the fuck that ain't. But then again, it's how you playing it off. Cause see, you want to sit up here, you want to play this little bullshit innocent role. But I know better. What so-called pastor? Put it like this. And you want to tell you why I know this is bullshit? Because what so-called pastor don't give a damn. First and foremost, a pastor really shouldn't give a damn how you come in their church. If you clean, you got some clothes on, whatever, fine. But if you come off the street, you dusty than a motherfucker. You smell like a six-pack of old folks. Pastor shouldn't care. Pastor should look at you and be like, okay, it's quite obvious that this person here trying to turn over a new leaf. So it's just for the simple fact, right? Like what I said, this ain't no, oh, listen, he was a pimp. She was one of them bitches. Played it simple, and they played it off in the motherfucking church. Because, again, it's just like what I said. Why would a pastor worry about what you wearing if you ain't fucking him? Right? Or you really try to put her off on somebody else. Okay? Let's go.
That ain't normal. She was his Cassie. There to make you feel comfortable, to nurture you, while she coach you, pulling the goddamn strings. Thing he got. Carry on.
So then he steady does this. This is now how he checks my clothes. Like, I remember thinking about his dress, and he called me on the messenger app, and I'm having to bend over in the camera and stuff, because this is how he checks my clothes from Odyssey.
So wait a minute. Did he not just do that at the store? What the fuck he calling you again? I'm still trying to figure this shit out. Why would a pastor give a damn how you dress? Unless you fucking the pastor. Just come out and say, put like this. If you would have just came out and say, hey, I fuck pastor, right? The shit might have went pretty well, but just out of all of this, we ain't got much left, but I've been giving y'all my conclusion up until this point, right? I've been telling y'all, so y'all should already know what the fuck I'm gonna say already. Let's go.
And to make sure I'm modest. And I'm just like, okay, like, I don't understand, but okay. But me, I'm still like, that's my dad. Like, he's disciplined. He makes it like he's this well disciplined.
That ain't your damn daddy. Stop saying that. Okay? Where your mama at? Oh, my bad. She ain't that either.
Man, and all of this. So maybe it's not nothing. So then, y'all, one day we in the car, and he asks to see my phone. He goes through my phone, and he is looking at old naked pictures of me.
See? What the fuck what did I tell y'all? What the fuck did I tell y'all? I mean, because first and foremost, again, why pastor going through your phone? Why pastor worried about how the fuck you dress? Right? And why you got pictures of you being naked in your phone? You already know what your body look like. So why are they in your phone? Okay? You kept them. Listen, people, And again, like I said, this is all speculation. But if you actually go back, either look at my version, Nino Brown's version, or if you can actually really go and find her own link to this. Go back and listen, and then come back to go back to listen. And then either come back and listen to my video or what Nino Brown got to say or anybody else that got to say on this subject. Right? Or anybody that know about this, right? But just know this. Go back and if you can find them, right? Anybody else that said that talked about the same incident other than myself or Nino Brown. And then just know, ain't nobody gonna say it quite like how I'm saying it right now. I'm telling you right now.
And he's just looking, and I'm so uncomfortable because we're in the car together because I used to have to drive him from place.
So let me just guess. I bet you just showed this motherfucker. You put like this. It's always gonna be the titty shot, then the pussy shot, then the ass shot, right? Then you probably gonna get a real close up on the pussy, right? So so for the most part, it's then you like I say, you get my ass shot, you get in front of a mirror, right? Or if you got a tripod, you set the time on the motherfucker, right? And then there your ass shot is. She sent all of those pictures to the pastor, right? And then he looked at it, he said, ooh, I bet you. And then he said up there, oh, I bet you she'll look good in this dress here. And then he already know how motherfucking flexible you are because he already seen your ass naked, okay? Doing the exact same positions. So let's go.
Because his eyes and stuff. So he's looking at naked stuff of me, and I'm like trying to snatch my phone and stuff. He's like, no, like you don't do that. You don't tell authority no. That's basically like you don't do that to your authority. So I'm just so uncomfortable, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I remember driving and I'm just like so uncomfortable because why? Like no. And he's like, I'm figuring out what's wrong with you. He would always put spiritual stuff on this stuff that he was doing. Now, I remember this kept happening. He was desensitizing me for what he was going to do. And he wanted stuff to be secretive. But he would say it was because he's the man of God.
What? Now this Pastor Disaster need to be in there with Robert Sylvester Kelly at. That way he need to be up there with me before the parents could stop it. Think about Nino Brown. Text Nino Brown right now. Call me. Let's expose your goddamn pastor. 786-31.
Okay, so that's so for the most part, it's like now this is what now I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a part 2, but for the most part, I feel like this. If he do the part 2, I'll watch it. But 9 times out of 10, I already know what the fuck this bitch gonna say, right? Because I'm just telling you, this is bullshit. First and foremost. You never gave out the name of the church. You never gave out the pastor. But then again, it's just like what I said. What good would that do? You 19. In the state of Mississippi, hold on. Matter of fact, let's just do this. What age in Mississippi are you considered an adult? So okay, so in the state of Mississippi, it's all right. Well, 18 years. Okay, that's within the state. But hold on, it's no longer considered. Okay, then. So in Mississippi, okay. All right, well then My bad. But anyway, right? So in Mississippi, the majority age is 21. However, law treats it 18, right? So for the most part, right, anything, because I thought it was 16. Then, I might have heard this shit on Hollywood, and then, hey, there it is. But in that, damn, in another case, right? So basically, all what I'm saying is that, okay, you was 19 at the time. And so, just like I said, the shit what I did with the skillet and the frying pan, right? So, just like I say, I mean, put like this. Everybody's out there. Everybody, for the most part, lost unless you can actually really catch this. Unless you can really catch it quick, fast, and a motherfucking hurry. You're gonna be like this, right? But to be perfectly honest with y'all, I just think that this young lady actually really put her sexual fantasy on display for everybody, but she actually really want to make it seem like, okay, it was a crime, right? And to be perfectly honest, I'll be like, look, you can take your story, what you tell it, and send it to either to any porn site or the porn company, right? Because I just look at it like this. I mean, go back and listen, because here's the deal, right? It's almost like it was her and her friend, right? I might have to go back and look at it again myself, but it was her and her friend, and then after a while, the friend disappeared. You didn't hear about the friend no more. Unless the friend said, you know what, I can't do this no more. This don't seem right. All right. So then, so basically, all what I'm saying is this: it was Pastor, it was her, his top woman, right? So just know they all fucked, right? You was getting your pussy ate by old girl, while Pastor was blowing your damn back out. Plain and simple. Because put like this, you should have never said anything about the old naked pictures of you in your phone, right? What you saving them for? Like it's just like what I said earlier. What you saving them for? You know what you look like naked, right? So, and 9 times out of 10, he got your phone and he looking at your shit, because 9 times out of 10, see, you ain't telling the whole story, right? You didn't put it, because not only did you send those pictures to Pastor, you probably sent them to a whole lot of people, right? I'm just putting, listen, I'm the crazy uncle. Yeah, I'm a little high right now, but no, it's too much shit being left out. So Nino Brown, or anybody else for that matter, whenever part 2 comes up, make sure you post that shit so I can break that shit down. Because I'm telling you, right? She was eating old girl that we just watched, right? She was eating out old girl. Pastor's number 1. And she getting her back blown in the process. Right? And then they switch positions. The pictures in her phone don't make sense, people. Right? Clear that shit out. Because again, you get the wrong motherfucker in your phone. But but again, why would your pastor, your so-called pastor, your so-called dad, why the fuck he going through your phone? Why he got you taking these old bullshit ass pictures of yourself? Right? And then, like I said, you want to make him like he the goddamn victim. Bitch, please. So With that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your dad, tell your birthday, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, cross street, round the corner. Pauls Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. I'm gonna holler at y'all.